So our second reader is Michael Dylan Welch. Michael Dylan Welch has written haiku since 1976. He's a past or current officer, director, or board member of the Haiku Society of America, the Haiku Poets of Northern California, Haiku Northwest, Haiku North America co-founder in 1991, the American Haiku Archives, co-founder in 1996, and the Tonka Society of America, founder 2000, president 2000-2004. Michael is poet laureate for the city of Redmond, Washington, is a proprietor of National Haiku Writing Month, and runs an extensive personal website devoted mostly to haiku, guts and grace. He is also editor, publisher of Press Your Haiku and Tonka books. Here's Michael. He'll tell you more. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you, Juanito, for sharing your poems. Before I start reading, I don't know if this is mentioned yet, but I'm spill some beans about Faye Aoyagi. She was announced at Haiku North America as the next honorary curator of the American Haiku Archives. So congratulations to Faye for that. And we will be having a special Zoom reading featuring Faye next month. I forget the exact date, but you'll hear about it. There'll be news about that circulating. So I'm excited to honor Faye that way. So for reading today, I have lots of things I could read. And one of my pandemic projects was to convert a lot of my sequences to PowerPoints. And they're quite fancy. I've got dozens and dozens of these. And some I've also converted to movies. And I thought, well, maybe I could share some of those. And then I thought, well, how about something you've never heard? Probably never heard. You might have heard some of my stuff too much. I don't know. So I'm going to read a sequence called Bluing Twilight. And if there's time after that, I'll read selections from my latest Haiku trifold that I made available at Haiku North America a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to share my screen here. The sequence is called Bluing Twilight. And a way to describe it is that they are wildlife encounters. And I write a lot of domestic poetry, a lot of domestic themes and so on in what I write. These poems are more strictly nature focused. So perhaps that'll be something different. And it's not in a fancy PowerPoint, it's just in a big Word file, and I'll scroll through the poems as I read them. I think there's about 30 of them. And if there's time left after that, I can read from my latest trifold. So here are some wildlife encounters. A moment's notice. The wildflower's shadow or bear scat. Berry stains. Track of something along the porch. Fresh snow in the shape of wind. Aspen shadows. Dying day. The bees still at work in the clover. Gliding raven. Shawl of night tightens its grip. The moon blurred by forest fire haze tracks the fox. If any of you have favorites as these go by, I'd be curious to hear later if there's time. River baptism. Water ouzel shakes its tail. Old textbook. Bison's breath hangs in the air. Wave after wave breaking over shore rocks. Time and times forgotten. Lost in the moment, sandhill crane turns the ripple. Snowy owl's steady stare, wind in its feathers. Black toad behind the zendo, just sitting. Spot of sun on the front porch has left plastic owl. Cottonwoods curve over the oxbow. Muskrat ripples. Solo hike. A turtle disappears to brackish water. Susurrus shapes in the grass from sleeping elk. And below, chickadee's song hangs in the air. Snap twig, rumps of deer hightailing out of here. Summer's end, the arc branch where the squirrel was. Snowing, shadow, forest, lighting. Two fawns, windfall apples. Rising hawk. The only snow left, shape of my boot prints. Fine snow drifting from the fir tops. First anniversary. Swallowtails shadowing cliffside. Drips in the river from the rising osprey. Aspens turning. Clouds, ridgeline. Silence, mountain goats. Nibbling crocus. Hidden mountain. Snow starts to stick to a dozing swan. Nesting season. Few downy feathers drifting up the trail. Winter solstice. Brownian motion. East. It's the last one of the sequence. After the catch, heron slowly folds its wings, wing twilight. So that's that sequence of mostly nature poems, perhaps different from what most people see from me. Do I have time to read some more? I'm going to assume the answer is yes. So my latest trifold is called Mandolin Summer. And in the chat, I'll paste a link where you can download a PDF of that and some of my other trifolds that I make one or two or three a year. So there's and I've done it for many years. There's lots to view and download if you go to that page in the chat. And this is my latest haiku one called Mandolin Summer. And the title poem is "The Loon's Ripples Disappear. Mandolin Summer." If you know what that means, please tell me. Just one of those phrases that occurred to me, and I decided to roll with it, whatever it might mean. Autumn again. Walk the woods. Few old friends. Mother's scarf folded drawer. Touch of loss. And that was written long before my mother passed away this past April. Paulownia leaf, the alcove, Granny's guitar. Scent of bush clover, the toddler's toe prints drying first. Fox cache, a touch of snow comes to the tundra. Winter solstice, I learned the word palliative. Fog on the window. Studio artist draws breath. Kendo in the courtyard. Sky ruins. If you're unfamiliar with kendo, it's a Japanese martial arts. Yes, Faye is demonstrating. You swing the sort of a bamboo sword. It's a bit more to it than that. It's called kendo. Kendo in the courtyard. Sky. Breakup talk. Our breath mingling. Winter air. My blue bathrobe worn at the hook spot. New Year's Day. Gurgle of snowmelt. Park's new name. Native American. Loneliness. I can't explain. Cherry blossoms. Rain. It's an example maybe of it's a rhymed haiku, but it's all completely natural. Let it rhyme. Guitar solo on the car radio. My fretting fingers. Waning spring. My love letter, just eraser rubbings. Summer sky. Car's empty bike rack. Park and ride. Three more. Sun-warmed park bench. Blind man touches his watch. Imagine you've all seen this. Behind the RV, always the bicycle, one wheel turning. the last poem. And it's only July. Summer hasn't ended yet, but it's already, I don't know, it feels like a good poem to end with. Incoming tide. Summer ends. The sandcastle. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Michael. That was great. Two wonderful readers. Thank you so much.